Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about people who steal your ideas. Okay, they can steal more than your ideas, but it could be in person, it could be online, it could be even in your family, your friends, whomever, and however. I did a video a while back on one of my channels, my original YouTube channel, and it was about when people do their own DIYs, do-it-yourself kind of thing, and they sell them online. And it was an example of this kind of thing that, they sell them online, they make videos, or they just post pictures on groups or, whatever social media platform they use. And, they show tutorials of how they do them, or they just show how they did it. And it's their original thought, their original idea. And the next thing they know that my experience in this has been this, somebody who's more popular will take that idea, make it their own, and sell it. And, of course, they get more people buying it, and some people have the nerve to say that that's flattering, that somebody stole your idea. And my example was, first of all, to say, no, that's not, that's theft. But my example was, like, if you go out and you buy yourself a sofa, and somebody comes in and steals your sofa because they saw you, going in the door with it, and you're going to say that's flattering because they must have liked my taste? No, when somebody steals something that is yours, it's not flattering. And it includes ideas or your persona or your catchphrases, the way you dress. Like you work with somebody or one of your family members, you get a new hairstyle. You're a woman who has longish hair, and you get a new hairstyle, new color, whatever it is. And let's say it's one of your siblings, you're adults, and one of your siblings takes that. And that sibling is more, popular. So then what can happen after that is, like at that DIY, people say, you stole that from this person. They do it much better. Whatever it is, you're not going to get recognized for your own ideas. And like I said, my experience in life is that somebody who's more popular or who is trying to become more popular will go around stealing people's ideas for whatever it is and use them as their own. Okay, now, my experience in life, now you notice I keep saying that, my experience in life, that doesn't mean everybody, doesn't mean it always happens and it always would for everybody. One size doesn't fit all. My experience in life is that these are people who tend to have what I call a narcissistic histrionic blend of behaviors. And, they want to shine, no matter what. They want to be the ones to shine. They don't care how they get that attention. They want that attention. They don't care how they get it. And more than narcissistic person, my side in my experience, is that they're all about the money. They're often all about money. Not always, but often. And they don't care how they get it. They don't care whose toes they step on. They don't care how that other person feels about it. It's all about them. And the histrionic person, they just want everybody, look at them, you look at them, that look at me type. And they don't care how they get it. If they see, your new hairdo, your new hairstyle, color, whatever, like I said, people, compliment you on it, and they hear about that. Oh, they steal it. Oh, they have to have it because they want that attention back on them. And they don't care if they get it in a negative way or positive way, as long as they get that attention back on them. Now, these are copycats, the copycat type too. And, we used to just call them copycats. Okay, when I was younger. But as I got older, I started to see, like in the DSM, which criterion they kind of meet, and these, the types when they do something like this. And then that's how I see it. So like a narcissistic histrionic blend of behaviors. Okay, And I first got online, by the way, in anything you would call like a social media platform. It was in 1990. And I have often wondered, especially more of these past, I don't know how many years, is there a platform that a person can go on and not be this type, not be, narcissistic or histrionic, have to have all that attention. They don't care about how they get it, wants all the money, everything. Like I just mentioned, is there a platform that a person who's not like that can get on and talk about their own ideas or their own views and not have one of these types steal them? I have yet to find that. I have yet to find that kind of a platform. Like, it's happened to me for years, okay? Now, my more recent one was, it was using this high sense of entitlement, using that phrase that, it's in the DSM, I think, under, I think it actually spells it out, or does it, under narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not diagnosing anybody. I never will, never do. So, in any video, that goes for all of them. But the behaviors of they have a high sense of entitlement. I remember when I first started making videos on one channel about that. That one always kind of confused me. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if it's that that the word entitlement wasn't much out there, that people didn't, pay much attention to it. But that is very important. I see it more now than ever before in my little part of the world, like I said, where people have this high sense of entitlement. And I had used that phrase for a certain thing, and you got it. The ones who are putting out, and they were more popular, ones who are putting that out, that high sense of entitlement, use that to switch it around to say that the others, somebody like me, were the ones with the high sense of entitlement. Some would just call it projection. But no, they still put people's ideas, they take their ideas, or take their phrases, their catchphrases, whatever, like I said, whatever they can, even your persona, your own personal stories. That has happened to me, both of those. I'm actually a victim of actual identity theft, even. But that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm talking about they'll steal your identity, your person, who you are, how you are, even the way you speak. They'll steal it if they think it's going to make them more popular. And that whole thing that I had not heard hardly anybody talk about in a long while, high sense of entitlement. Like I said, they took it and used it for their own purposes. I think these are the lowest life forms, really, the lowest human life form. The bottom feeders. I had even said that before. I'm not saying it in a way of name calling, but I'm saying it in a way of that more people would understand what I'm talking about. Now, I could say low lives, and too many people, see that as low class. No, it's not. I'm not talking about the class of the person, but I do see them as the, very, very low life. But these are terms that we used to use when I was younger. Now, how else could I say it? They're very despicable. Yeah, okay. Maybe I should use that, start using that more often. Despicable, deplorable, downright disgusting. Because there's not another person, any person who's a good, decent person can go out there and talk about their own ideas, be their own person, without having one of those try to take it. It's my experience. I shouldn't say anybody. I don't like people who talk like that. Everybody and nobody and black or white thinking, all or none, always or never. These are ones, those do it. They do it quite often as if it makes other people think they're more confident, when really they're just more liars. They're lying. Okay. Yeah. They have no statistics to back it up. They don't care. They'll say, oh, 90% of people know that. Oh, everybody knows that. They have no statistics behind it, but they'll say it. Okay. But really, when it comes down to it, I think every word that I would use for somebody like that is it's going to be a negative word, because they're very negative people. They're thieves. When it really comes down to it, they have the mentality of thieves. Okay? They see, I actually remember when I first got on YouTube, it was, I first got on, it would be 7 years in August. It would be 7 years. But I guess it was probably 6 months at most, so maybe around there, that there was this woman. She was getting popular, and she told people the way to do it is to go and watch other YouTube channels, this was on YouTube. Watch what they do, and take that idea and use it as your own. And in her little group of flying monkeys, that's what they did to me. My idea would come on their channels within the next 24 hours. And that has been consistently been, even before that there was another woman, consistently, okay, this is how it worked for me. Within 24 hours usually. And it was not always the same person or people. And then that was how, I've not only been on YouTube, and you can make you can make videos on various types of social media. But my YouTube experience has been that. And what I had learned about each one of them, and they weren't all female either, is that these were people who really couldn't think. They certainly couldn't think in any logical fashion, but they weren't also creative in that way to think for themselves. Not at all. They had, though they had to steal from other people, because otherwise they were extremely boring, extremely dull, had nothing to say, knew next to nothing about anything. And I have seen that my whole life. Not online, because I haven't been online all my life. And, but I've seen this type of person since I was born. I was born into it, okay? And, yeah, anything good thing about a person, they just take and take and take. But, like these, as far as like I was talking about my experience on YouTube, there would always be one that I knew of. There could have been others that I just didn't know of. But at any point, there would be one. And once they became popular, they stole enough of my ideas, they became popular, they'd go to somebody else. Or just go on and use the same thing for years to come. One of them, she kept using my ideas. And I'm an independent, and she was not. She was very, out there about her bent, but she kept using mine, stealing my ideas, and I was not the only person she did it to at the same time either. Okay, and she kept stealing people's ideas, their catchphrases, their persona, their little attitudes in a way. Like you're part of your persona, but you put out there an attitude, and she would do that, or just anything. And when she kept stealing my ideas, she would take them and use them, and she wouldn't realize how stupid it was making her seem. Seriously. Because she'd twist them up a little, or she'd say that she thought the same way. Well, she was a different bend. Now, I'm an independent, I don't have that, I'm going to be this or that. I'm independent of those things. And, but she had a particular one. Yeah. And she humiliated herself, and she did. Probably the people who were watching her or all liking her, the people who were, they didn't know either. So, but I've had unbelievable, the people who still, the copycats, still, I think copycats may be the best word, because I think a lot of people, they know that, copycat types are just deplorable, despicable, They already know those negative words. I've been trying to find a good one. Not just say copycat. I got to remind myself of that. Toxic people, but you hear my voice going out. I get allergies. But just really so low that they don't care. They don't care. I have not known any of them to care and to apologize. I mean, and the thing about it is, like on some certain, I think on basically any social media platform, these are dated. Okay, they have a date, a published date, and you can't change it. And many of them, I can't say all, but many of them I know that I've known since these 31 years, you can't change that date. So people could come back and say, hey, wait a minute, you actually stole that from her, talking to one of them. Say, you little copycat, you stole that from her. But do you think they apologize? No, they cover themselves. Oh my goodness, do they ever cover themselves? Okay, now, besides the fact that by then they have flying monkeys, they call them, people call them these days narcissistic flying monkeys, like the Wizard of Oz. They go out and do the Wicked Witch's evil bidding. But yeah, by then they already, they've become popular. And when will people ever really get a handle on this? People who are very popular, not all of them, but I've learned this this was a long time ago, back in high school, a long time ago. I think it was actually 9th grade. Okay, that people who have charisma, which they become popular and all, most of them, and in this one I will say most of them, are these types. I think back then that actually it may have been the first time I ever heard the word narcissistic. And it just was too much for me on the 9th grade to hear. I mean, it wasn't something we commonly heard. I don't think I'd ever heard it before then, if it was then. And hey, I'm a social and behavioral scientist, and I'll say that it wasn't used much. Some people more these days will say, man, there's so much information out there about narcissistic people. It wasn't back then. It wasn't for a big chunk of my life. It's only been more recently that, I'm talking maybe last 10 years. Yeah. And I used to write about it on what, some people call blogs years ago. But it wasn't something that was common. It wasn't something that people knew about, the word itself. A lot of people have trouble, especially spelling it. I can relate. Okay. But where was I going with this? But this is what I do run across, and I've run across too much. And really, I just recently decided I made a channel. I want to use it. I don't know what happened to the first video that I put on it to make public. I hadn't made public yet. I just uploaded it. But it is about, various viewpoints on various things, and I'm not going to stick to one. I just am not going to stick to one. And about like narcissistic histrionic people, copycats, or whatever. But various viewpoints on things. And I'm a little bit burned out because, or maybe a lot burned out, because seeing that for years and I was talking about popular people, seeing them become popular, especially when they're spewing out BS. They're talking about things they don't know what they're talking about. And they're acting like they're voices of authority. That's where I was going with that, was when will people, a good chunk of people learn that it's common for somebody who's popular to be one of these, to have stolen somebody's ideas, to have stepped all over people, to see this as a bad thing, because they could do it to you too. That type. You may come up with some really good idea, or really great DIY, and something you invented, something you created, something that come from your whatever side it would be, whatever creative kind of side. You can be creative in your music, you can be creative in your artwork, your crafts, your thoughts, whatever it is. And they can just come and take it from you and get, These are people who want to be glorified. They want that glory. And what they did to you right then was they stole from you. It wasn't flattering. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I just see something. Real life happens in the middle of a video, yeah. But I don't know. I'm a bit burnt out but I thought, I'd make this new channel, and I had done some things on my other channels that I learned. Recently, had started watching again some of these gurus. I didn't for a long time, years maybe, even. Every once in a while, I think I'd catch one, it'd pop up, and I'd watch it. And some of them I learned they're full of BS, and some because what they say you can or can't do, yes you can, or or some of it's just not one size fits all, and they put it as though anybody who does this, it will happen. You do ABC and you'll get XYZ, and that's a good thing. It doesn't work for everybody that way. And so I tend to walk, to not listen to people who speak in those kinds of terms, that everybody would have this result. No, and instead of saying it's not a one-size-fits-all, and it might not work for you, they just don't say it. And that's one of the things that, in my opinion, my view, and my experience in life, that people who try to give you there is a one answer, this is all you have to do to certain things in life. No, avoid. Nobody has that answer. To certain topics, many of topics. Yeah, I'm losing my voice. But anyway, and I'm getting really distracted because I'm not sure what's going on back there, but in the road. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But like I said, I'm discouraged, and I have tried to start a new channel before, 2 of them, and even tried ones that I had found that were old, and no promo, no promotion. It could just be that, I don't know. I hear social media talk about, well, with so many people at home these days, that, different platforms out here, even read stuff says that, more people would be watching videos or reading or on this social media platform or that one or whatever. I have noticed, especially a different one, not this one, but a different one I have noticed, and even some on this, that it's like a ghost town. And this other one really is a ghost town. And I was surprised, unbelievable. It was like one of those, wow, really? Yeah, where did everybody go? And it was like, it used to be hopping and really busy, and not anymore. And I have noticed on this, even like I was talking about those gurus, I had one of them, it was a real major guru about how to do YouTube and stuff. And I looked at some of his videos, and he had so few views in comparison to what it used to be. And I've seen other ones like that too. And I know my channels, they just went bam, down to hardly anything. But anyway, I'm kind of all over the place right now. Like I said, I'm distracted. I've been distracted since I started this video, and I'm distracted when I make videos, so expect more. I do stream of consciousness, go with my own flow. That's what I'm going to do. On a variety, various topics. Okay. Enough for now.